Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video and to the final, I think the final of my top 10 lists or my ranking lists, tier lists, whatever you want to call it for 2022. So this is going to be, camera, this is going to be the final list. It's the TUR and basically, yeah, we're just going to see which are the best TUR overall. Top 10, maybe 15, I don't know. We'll see just where I want to rank them, basically. So, to cut a long story short, I think let's cut out some of. Obviously, I'm only ranking global only, not ranking JP. If it's not on global, it don't count. So I think let's, before we get into the battle for number one, let's talk about kind of like the not so hots, or yeah, the ones that I don't think are gonna make it. So Kula I think is very good, but I just think he's maybe a little bit too out of the loop now. I think both of these transforming units are also very good, but I do think yeah, they're maybe not top 10 quality. They could be. Same physical Vegeta, also still a very good unit. Then we have the SS4s, both super duper solid units. And I think the final one on the global side that I'd probably stick down near the bottom here is maybe him for now, but we'll see. We'll see where we go with these things. So a couple criteria before we get too into it. Obviously, leader skill does count. Amount of teams they can be run on, and how simple they are to use, or how easy it is to get their max performance level. So right off the bat, let's kind of talk about these positions here. So I'm gonna kind of just throw this one out there. I think Tech Vegito is probably bottom of this rung. He could even land up in here. Two things about Tech Vegito. One, he doesn't start out as strong as you'd like him to. He's huge damage still, but he doesn't really start out as strong as you'd like him to. And because of his design, he still needs to be hit before he has all his crit. And I think that's too limiting for him, because he doesn't really get to first tank defense for like a very long time. So I'm gonna kind of stick him here for now. We'll see where we go from there. I think next is probably gonna be these two tied, and the reason why they tied is simple. So I think Omega Shenron is better than Gogeta. Personally speaking, Omega Shenron's defense gets to a very good height. Omega Shenron can deal huge damage. Omega Shenron leads possibly the worst category in the game. Shadow Dragons itself is strong, but he's an extreme unit, so you can only link up with basically Tex and Shenron, who's a great unit, but he's a bit iffy to use. Basically, he's quite limited as a unit. Whereas Gogeta is kind of the exact opposite. He's not as good as Shenron, at least to me. He's still very good. He can dish out some very good damage. He still has the ability to evade super attacks, which is super duper powerful, and counter them. And yeah, overall, his leader skill is a lot more usable and will last longer. Fusion is just a much stronger buff based category than I think the other ones. So then we're going to get into some little bit juicier units, I think. And this is where people are probably going to give me a hard time. But I think this guy's here. And I'll tell you why. The thing is he's a fantastic unit, but absolutely none of the endgame content right now requires you to have a unit that's great against super units. So Turles is fantastic. Turles is also losing half of his buffs against extreme class units, which make up the entire end game currently. The moment they bring out events that put us against super class units, like God of Destruction events, which were all super class for some reason, Turles will be back in vogue. But I think he loses so many buffs, and what you're going to use him in fighting Legend Goku, he's far beyond that level in a sense, but he's not far enough to be in red zone. Like a Rainbow Turles that's fully link leveled, yeah, he can handle it, but beyond that, not too much. He does lead movie bosses, which is a very powerful category right now, and he is a great floating support. So he could move up the list, but right now I think I like where he's at. Overall, could maybe move up and Android 17 comes underneath, but we'll see. We'll kind of walk through that one. Full power Goku and Android 17. So this is where things are getting a little bit juicier. I think these two are possibly on the same level. I'll tell you why. So, full power Goku is pretty good. I think for me, I like him a lot. His ability to 4C super attacks is very, very powerful. And he does help out SS4 like a lot as a team. Like a lot as a team. And I think that is super important to be able to help out SS4 as a team. Super 17 has just really stood the test of time. He still is a great tank, and he'll remain a great tank for a while. He does start to take a little bit of damage as a first slot unit, but you're one easy A to a 17 or a Hellfighter 17 coming out or something happening, and he all of a sudden ends up being a super top tier linking partner again. So it's a little bit difficult to kind of talk about how he performs, I think, without factoring in just how good he's been as a tank for such a long time. Now we get to a little bit more interesting. So we get Vegeta, I think, who could climb higher, but give me a second here. And we get Gohan, who I think are definitely in this space. So Vegeta is a great second slot and third slot unit. He great leader skill, pure Saiyans, and he can get super high defense and dish out super high damage. Great unit, great all around, great link set. Everything about him is great. But he is, as I mentioned, the second slot, third slot unit. Gohan is a little bit conditional. I do think you need to activate the Trunks portion of his passive to truly get the best out of him. And he can still get torn to shreds if he doesn't get his full damage reduction up, if he gets hit before he fires off his super attack. There's a lot of things that can happen, but generally speaking, he's remained very tanky. He's very simple to use, and with the Vegeta and Trunks unit being out now and being able to activate his passive, I think that's huge for him, and I just think it's going to keep him relevant for a little while, at least from my perspective. Then we're getting to some interesting kind of selections here, and you're going to see this list change, so don't get too hung up on these. I think some will shift around, but we're going to have Cooler and we're going to have Goku sitting here in this kind of fourth, I think here maybe, and then we'll probably do, I think this looks good to me. So that was a lot of changes, but I'll explain it now. So he is really, really good. If he gets his finishing blow, he can get up to 300, 400k defense. He's a fantastic support. He links incredibly well with Tech Elazamasu, who's one of the best EZAs in the game, but a very limited team. Goku Black units notoriously only link well with Goku Black or merged Goku Black units. Very limited in terms of team, Inhuman Deeds, Future Saga, or otherwise you're going for like Time Travelers. None of them really too crazy as a team. And just as a unit, like he's extreme on Patara based teams. Is he really going to link well with lots of units? You kind of just stuck linking him with Tech Elazamasu right now, and that's okay as a unit, but I think he is limited, which is why I'd put him behind the rest of these. Could possibly interchange him for Gohan, I think is also fine, so I'd be happy with that, but for me, I think Gohan is, with a bond of parent and child right now, is very, very good, but we'll still look at the list overall. And then we get to the final two places, and I think here I could do this, and I'd probably be happy. Right now, I do think Gogeta is the best in the game by a long shot. I think Gogeta is super duper strong. I think he's very, very powerful as a unit. I think he's incredibly good super quick to get going, very potent, huge damage, leads a great fusion and movie heroes, super powerful, and strength cooler is very much the same. The only difference is strength cooler is only crits against pure Saiyans, and although strength cooler technically has a higher ceiling cap when it comes to defense, by the time he surpasses Gogeta, most events are over with Gogeta. So it's that I think separates them. Obviously, I think Movie Heroes is also one of the strongest categories in the game alongside Terrifying Conquerors, so both of these are more than fine. And now we come to the final one, we come to Broly. So Broly, I'm going to stick here. I think he's tie here. And I'll explain why in fairly good detail, and I think I might move SS4 Goku down a little bit and move these around. But Broly, I think, is very good. He's just a lot like Ultimate Gohan, where you need things to kind of go right for him to look exceptional. The exact kind of counter opposite to Rose, whereas Rose is exceptionally good in a situation where he's linked with Tech Alazamasu. Broly looks exceptionally good in a lot of situations, but that's it. Like, he has a cap. He has a very noticeable defensive cap. He requires a couple of supers to kind of go beyond that. Still an incredibly good unit, and for World Tournament, ESBR, Broly's your man. I think this is a very good place for him to be in. Looking at these, I think personally he can come down to here, and then I think this here can move up. I like those more. I like that. I like that better. Yeah, I like that. I think I like that one. I do. So Turles technically probably could reach higher peaks than these guys. You're like one easy A from the LR Turles squad from having Turles be better than both of these guys. But he's still limited to me. Even though Movie Boss is a better leader skill, I think Gogeta has the edge on him, being an exceptional unit and link partner for the SS4s. And then I think Omega Shenron, although a lot more limited, I still think Omega Shenron is exceptional as a unit. I still think he really is one of those easy A's that set the bar and really blew my mind when I first saw him. So I think he's really good. And I think I'd probably leave it at this. I think maybe 17 is on the verge of being out of the club. I think you could push Gohan down as well. But I think this is where I'd stand. Love to know what you guys think. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.